Hello and welcome to this Jane's Weather Update. It is Friday the 18th of October. We have a significant rain system crossing the southeast. It was first seen about a week to a week and a half ago, and it is actually delivering. In fact, you may be able to hear the rain on the roof, which for some is a very, very nice sound after they haven't heard it for such a long time. We have had some great falls so far if you are after rain. Now, yes, it may be a little bit too late in the season, but it has finally delivered. Have a look at these numbers here, 43, 35, 33, 44. So great totals, not just at the coast, not up in Queensland, but here through the inland parts of the southeast. So it is delivering as it comes in. Now, it does come with severe weather as well. Yes, there is widespread rain. It's a cut-off low that is delivering this. But there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of intensity there too. So we may have damaging winds, we may have destructive winds very locally. We may have large hailstones, we may have giant hailstones very locally. We have heavy rain leading to flash flooding. We may have intense rainfall very locally. Supercells are a possibility during the afternoon as the cold front comes in. So yes, widespread soaking rain, but also the severe element that does come with it. That is affecting the southeast of the country. There's not much else going on, but let's unpack why this is happening. Here it is. I talk about a cut-off low pressure system, and this, if you're after rain, this is the perfect setup to get it. What do we have? High pressure all the way out here to the east. That let lots of moisture from the Pacific Ocean flow down into the southeast, building as the week went on. Now we've got this trough line that is running through here. It has split the high pressure systems. They are so far apart. We have access to that tropical moisture that is running down into what I'm calling a cut-off low. Cut-off is the ideal situation there because none of these fast-moving cold fronts to the south, the low isn't whisked along with those. It is able to meander slowly, and that slow movement enables that widespread soaking rain. So that's what we need to produce that. With this one, not drawn in here at the moment, there is a warm front that has delivered some fairly steady rainfall. We've got the low that is actually moving just off the coast here, and then there is the cold front that comes through and behind it. So you end up with rain that's moving down through here, and then it goes around the back side of the low, and then it comes up from the southwest in behind it. So you get the first part, and then you get some more follow-up. So that's a kind of a 1-2 punch system as it moves through. So that's today. After that, there's not a lot coming. This is the big event that we've been talking about, and it is here. So here we have, having a look at what will soon be available on Jane's Weather. We can see the daily maps now if you head to the rain outlook page, but here's the more advanced version that is still in development. What we have got is all of these rainfalls here. So I've got the AI forecast. I've chosen the daily rain totals, and this is for Friday the 18th. And so this is where it is centered. It's Tasmania, it's Victoria. It's moving out of South Australia now, but they did have those big falls, and it's the very southern parts of New South Wales with some nice falls extending up into the north. Here's our connection to tropical moisture after all of that built in from Queensland Pacific earlier on in the week. So it's all coming together. It is lovely as it moves through, unless you have those severe thunderstorms that are directly overhead. Then yes, they're going to cause some problems like we saw in Cassidy, not yesterday, but the day before. Okay, so let's have a look at what this is going to do as we move through. Here is Friday. Let's move into Saturday. The low is starting to move out to sea. We've got this remains up and through here, but there's nothing heavy anymore. Still a bit of a connection to tropical moisture. Hit and miss showers and thunderstorms in through these parts of Queensland, and it's more of an onshore airflow for New South Wales in the eastern part there. But all of that is easing as it moves out to sea. That is on Saturday. Heading into Sunday, we've got this system that is developing over in the southwest. We've got another essentially area of tropical moisture that is building over the north there. Is that going to come down into this system here? Are we going to get a repeat? Meanwhile, the low is so far now off the coast, it's a very coastal fringe that is only seeing some activity here. It is nothing heavy, but there may be a fair bit of wind that's associated with that one because the low isn't that far away. All right, so here's our next system. There we are on Sunday, moisture building up to the north again, a break in the southeast. Let's move through into Monday. We've got high pressure in through here, nothing happening. This starting to connect into this system here. Could this be part two? I'll show you what the answer to that is in a second. We've still got the remains of that low that's off the coast, delivering lighter falls for the very coastal fringe there. Let's move into Tuesday. Here it is. We're getting a connection in through here. The energy is all the way down here though, and moving into Wednesday. Here we have nothing of the nothing of the significant rain that we've got at the moment, but yes, there is a connection between the system coming through and that tropical moisture. So definitely not a repeat of what we're having, and it's a cold front that's causing it rather than a slow-moving cut-off low, but there is going to be just a little bit of a top-up as we move through mid to later next week. Now, in this one here, this is Wednesday. Let's have a look at Thursday and into Friday. I'll just go back to Wednesday there. I'm going to put this one on. We're going to zoom in here. Now, don't worry, we're going to get rid of all of these bars at the higher zoom level. This is why it's still in development. I'm showing some stuff behind the scenes, but this shows us how cold the air is. This in through here is warm. This in through here is chilly. Now, let me take the daily rain off and you can see it. So cold air there. Here we are by Wednesday. By Thursday, moving through, hang on, let me just move back to daily. Again, still some things to be ironed out here. Here we have into Friday. Let me remove that. So this is snow down to 1,000 meters. That indicates to you that, no, we're not going to see a lot of snow that is any lower than that, but it's cold air. It is a punch of cold air coming through at the end of next week. So that's Thursday. We just pop this back on so I can move it forward. And there we go into Friday. So there's our cold air, 1,300 meters. So yes, Tasmania is going to get a bit of snow out of that one. The Alps are going to get a little bit of snow out of that as you move into the mainland. But what everyone else is going to feel is a bit of a punch of cold air coming through at the end of next week. Let's just zoom back out again and turn this off and go back to daily rain. Great. So here we are, Friday. Let's go back. So Wednesday, activity here, activity here. Thursday, activity here with that cold push, just a little bit through here. Next one potentially building, and into Friday next week, there's our next connection down into the south. So there could be another repeat on the horizon. That tropical connection connecting with some system that's moving through. The one at the moment is so significant because it's a cut-off low that can slowly meander across. Okay, let's have a look overall. This is the Euro model. So our AI forecast was all of the models plus all of those observations from Australia producing machine learning and AI to produce that forecast. This is just one of those models, and it's the Euro. This is having a look at next week. So beginning on Monday, it's got warmth all in through here as we're going through. So this is next week. It's got, sorry, no, this is, let me take that back. That's the next map I'm going to show you. Here is precipitation. So here is dry conditions is what I'm trying to say here. So this is this moving out of there early next week. Here is the next one shaping up. This is precipitation, whether it is above average or below average overall from Monday onwards. This is showing us that it's likely to be drier. We saw it in the projection that we just went through, how yes, there's that connection, but it's not the significant one that we're seeing now. So it is lighter falls as it comes in. So this indicates that overall, it's not going to hit those higher than average wet weather numbers. Yes, it is in through here. Yes, it is in through there. And maybe the East Coast, just as that moves away early on in the week. But otherwise, this next system isn't looking as big as the first one. Let's move over to the temperature, and this is what I'm talking about. So here is our heat that is moving in through here. Here is the colder air. Now, early next week, there's going to be some heat in the southeast. This is the week overall, how if you add up each and every day, what that would average out to. And this means that the heat that we see at the beginning of the week, Monday, Tuesday, is going to be replaced by cold air as we go to the end of the week, and that cold air is going to be more significant than the heat that came through earlier. So I'm just suggesting that, yes, there's going to be quite a sting in the tail of that one. We're not going to see a lot of wet weather as it comes through, but it's going to bite in terms of temperature. Here's all of that heat building through there. Now, let's go back to our wet weather map, and we'll move to week 2. Okay, interesting. This is the 28th of October into the 4th of November. There looks to be maybe some system that is setting up in through here, the tropics and down into Queensland, and another one that might be passing through the southeast. So this is week 2, bit of a heads up that something could be brewing. Is it back here? This one is Friday the 25th. Is it related to this particular system by the time it makes it over to the southeast? We'll see. This is heads up of what we're talking here. Let's go into the temperature situation, and this is week 2. Okay, so maybe something is building in through here. We've got a little bit of warmth in there, but that is a colder outlook on the horizon for week 2, Monday the 28th into the 4th of November. Okay, let's move over to our MJO. What is causing this tropical connection? The connection itself is the weather pattern that's moving through, but the ability of that moisture to be there and ready to be sucked into that equation, this one can help us out here, and we're currently in a pulse. So this is a lovely way to say, yep, that moisture, it is connecting, it is moving through, it is available to play with. So this is us here in the green zone. We like the green zone if we want that moisture to come through, and that is exactly where it is now. It weakens here. It tries to go into a pattern where it suppresses that tropical moisture, and this shows that it quickly comes out of it and just goes back into neutral. So those rainfall systems on the horizon, they're not going to be as strong as what we're looking at now, but they may not be as strongly negative as what they could be because it goes back into that neutral zone in the middle. Having a look at sea surface temperature anomaly, these have finally updated. The center that produces them was knocked out by the first cyclone that hit Florida, and now they're back online, which is great to see. So we've got all of our blue that is coming in through here. We've also got a fair bit of blue that has now developed over in the west there, so that's quite interesting. I'll go to that one first. We're getting to the point of time of year where this is on the map is not as important to the overall picture because the monsoon is taking over. So yes, we are down in through here, which is crossing into that negative Indian Ocean dipole, encouraging that moisture to flow towards Australia rather than the other way. And so you can see that literally on that one, there's all of the cooler water that's out through there, all of the warmer water of the coast here, and it is significantly warm. So that creates an imbalance and tries to push moisture towards us from the Indian Ocean. So this is saying that, yes, we are now in that pattern. In order for us to be technically in a negative IOD, it needs to be there for about 8 weeks. So this is probably just a short little dip that comes into here, and also the very end of the season where this has an impact, so there is less of an impact from that one. What we do like to see here is all of this moisture that is available to play with that can help come in and fuel our weather systems. Let's have a look over at the Pacific Ocean. El Nino, La Nina, where are we heading there? We like all this blue that has developed. We have all of this that is off the coast here that is, again, a dipole, an imbalance, and so that helps push that moisture in from the Pacific Ocean. We've seen over the last week what that is able to do when it really sets its mind to it. It can fuel a big, significant rain system. So let's have a look at this one. We have been steadily going down, as you would expect, as we moved in. It tried to weaken, it came back on, it tried to weaken, it's now started to come back down. Having a look at this new guidance, we've got 1, 2 that properly cross the threshold. We've got 1, 2, 3 models that come either very close to it or just reach it. Now, this is the Australian definition of La Nina. This green line here is 0.8 degrees. The US go on a different one, so you'll hear different information from them from what the Weather Bureau here in Australia is saying because they have a different threshold. This one here is 0.5 is where they say it goes over. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 models that the Americans are saying, yes, are ticking that box of La Nina, whereas the Australians are only going to say there are only 2 that are crossing that. But the Australian model is this colour that's in through here. That one had been away from the pack for some time now, but now it's got a friend. So this one, the green one, is the Euro model. The Euro model does carry a lot of weight. It is a top performing global model, so we definitely can't ignore that. And now that is another one that is suggesting we're going to pop straight back out of that and just remain in neutral as we go through summer. So the current guidance there is 2 are crossing the Australian threshold, 3 are very close to it, 5 of them are crossing the US threshold, but we've got these 2 that are sitting there in neutral. So that's how that adds up in terms of what all the different models are suggesting the Pacific Ocean is going to do. What this means is how much moisture is available to come into the Pacific. It doesn't tell you if a low pressure system is going to get cut off and move through your part and take that moisture and turn it into significant rain, or a trough that sets up through Queensland, it's constantly fed by that moisture, delivers significant rain. It's all about the moisture part of the equation. Is that likely to be actively setting in our direction, which is what happens if you're down through here, or is it, yes, a little bit coming in our direction? We can see that we are warmer than average off the coast there, so yes, we do have moisture to play with, and it's definitely not where this box out through here is warm and this one off through here is cool, because that would be the opposite, where this was all up in through here and we'd be in El Nino. So this one is all definitely down in this way, but now we have 2 models that are sitting on that fence line right in the neutral zone. Okay, let's have a look at the long-term forecast. Now we're in November through to January. Here's the Bureau's one. It falls in the eastern part. It likes perhaps not as much of a chance in central parts. It likes falls over in the west. So that's from the Bureau. Let's have a look at the Euro model, which is very similar. We love seeing models that are very similar because it means two organisations are on the same page. We've got higher confidence in the forecast. We have all of this green in through here. We've got a brown patch in the middle. We've got all of this in here. Now, the thing I would take away from this is there is an above average chance, there is a chance of getting above average weather. We know from the moisture part of the equation, yes, we're going to have that to play with. We've at least got a little bit of moisture to play with. It's definitely not sending it away from us. So yes, moisture available, great, tick. We've got moisture that's available through here, tick. So that's our moisture sources that are great. Whereas it all depends on where those weather systems go as to who actually gets that wet weather. This signal in through here is an interesting one. Now, if we have cloud and rain over the interior of the country, that's our source of heat. The cloud and rain stops that sun baking the desert and producing a pool of hot air that is over the interior. If we don't have that cloud and rain, then yes, we end up with that heat. What we could have here is situations where, yeah, there's a fair bit of wet weather, there's a lot of moisture too, but in the times where we don't see that, as in the moisture impact there isn't a lot going on, there isn't a lot of low pressure coming through, then if this is able to bake and heat up, whenever you get a westerly wind in Brisbane, a northwesterly in Melbourne, a northeasterly in Perth, then yes, that's our heat waves because we've got all of this being able to bake because it's getting less rain than the rest of them. We could have a very interesting situation where there's lots of moisture, there's lots of wet weather, but while that takes a break and we end up with winds from the interior, we end up with heat waves as well. So this summer could be very interesting as we go into it. Okay, so there is the Bureau's model. East, west, bit of a dry in the middle. Same thing in through here. The Canadians haven't updated. This is still back in September, so it's a still similar thing. Over here, they don't have this here, but this is really old data. Having a look at the USA model, still on the same track where it doesn't like falls over the north here. It does like them in the southeast. It does like them in the southwest. But again, maybe we need to read something into that dry out of the interior and what that could possibly produce. Let's whip around the country. If you head to jamesweather.com, this is what you see as of this morning. We'll start in Brisbane. Here is our left-hand summary. We've got 28, then 33. So we're in a warm-up pattern through here. Showers and storms arrive in Brisbane tonight. Let's unpack this. Let's look at the pro version. You can see this is one model. That's another model. This is a third colour, and this is a fourth colour. So all four of them like some wet weather to come in, but they've all got very different timings on when that is likely to arrive. So what do you take from that? It is likely that we're going to see something, but in terms of when it arrives, that's where the question mark is, even though we are now in that next 24-hour period where you'd hope that most of the models are on the same track. But that tells you that even at this stage, they're all saying slightly different things in terms of the timing. It won't be a lot of what comes through anyway. Moving into Saturday, here is our heat. Here are our showers and thunderstorms. This shows us that they are likely in the afternoon, and that's when the wind changes direction too as that low moves off the coast. Moving into Sunday here, that's when we've got our cooler weather. We're in onshore airflow, so we've got showers coming through. They're not going to add up to a lot because it's an onshore airflow and there's no significant low pressure to turn that into anything. Moving into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's all just mucky around the sort of mid-20s mark and there's nothing heavy in the outlook for here. So that's Brisbane. Let's move down to Sydney. Here we go. We'll unpack this. 22, 23, 20, and then moving down to 18, 20. Let's unpack that shortly. So we've got a burst of it coming through here and then maybe another burst of it in through here. The weather system we have at the moment is coming in from the west. Sydney, there's a big dividing range that is just to the west. Sydney at this stage is on the dry side of the ranges. So normally it's on that Pacific side, and so it gets lots of wet weather. This is the type of system where the heavier falls are likely to be west of the ranges, and then you get the leftovers, whatever could cross the ranges and come in here. So this isn't overly heavy, particularly when you look at the 40 and 50 millimetres that we've had further west. So Sydney getting a bit of it, but not the brunt of it. So that's as we go through today. Heading into Saturday, we do have a little bit of this. There's an important horse race on, so there's a little bit of activity. Most of that is coming from one model, maybe two models, maybe three. So it's just showers that are passing through. It's nothing overly exciting, nothing overly windy either. However, Sunday, that low moves off the coast. Have a look at this. So we'll have a gusty southerly. It's not going to produce any wet weather because all of that is offshore, but we're going to get the wind in through there. So let's move. Here we are, 12 p.m. It's a temperature of 20. There's bright sunshine, but it'll feel like 15 thanks to that colder air that is coming up in behind it. So that's your Sunday. And moving into Monday, we've still got that wind, and now we start to see those coastal showers as we go through Monday, Tuesday. So that's what we're looking at for Sydney. Here in Melbourne, we do have all of the wet weather coming through. So right in the path of that significant rain system, we've got the widespread rain. We've got the thunderstorms. We know that it's coming down from the north, first of all. We've got that low pressure system. As soon as that moves around, then the wet weather wraps around and it comes in from the opposite direction. So here it is coming from the north right now. Now we move into it coming in from the southwest. So that's when then that change occurs, which is in the middle of the afternoon. That's when the cold front moves through, and that's when the most intense storms are likely to be. So rain breaking to showers, thunderstorms. We can get thunderstorms at any time of the day, but the ones that come through in the afternoon are likely to be the most severe. That's where we could get the biggest damage. So that's what we're looking at today. It starts to ease tonight, and by ease, I mean lots of showers coming through, but less of that storm activity. You can see that eases as we go into the evening hours. How does that look for your Saturday? We've got lots of showers coming through. That continues into the morning. Then they magically dry up. The sun comes out and we actually have a nice afternoon. It's no longer humid. So here we are at 9 p.m. just looking at this humidity thing through here. So I'll flick through. We go back to pleasant and then watch that drop as the afternoon goes on. So the wind tomorrow, it's not overly strong, but you'll go, oh, okay, we've lost that cloak of Queensland that came to visit and brought all of the wet weather with it too. So all of this eases back in terms of severity tonight and then clears up, ready for a lot of sunshine tomorrow afternoon. Going into Sunday, there's some drizzly showers coming through during the morning. Might get some afternoon sunshine. That's just the last tiny little bit of this system coming in. Into Monday, should be all dry. Temperatures rise up again. The warmest day is Tuesday. Here is our cool change coming through late in the afternoon on Tuesday. And then this one. Here's the first part of it coming in with some wet weather. There's one colour, there's one colour, there's one colour. It does not have the timing of this settled yet, which is to be expected. It's next Wednesday. Moving into Thursday, here's the colder air, and it's particularly there on Friday. So we're really going to feel the bite in the end of this one as it comes in. Let's jump over to Adelaide. So we'll unpack this here. We've got all of the different colours. We're looking at showers moving through. So the main part of this weather system is behind us now. It's moved over to Victoria. And so this is the showers that are coming in, and they should dry up later this afternoon. Then the sun comes back out. Moving into Saturday, very benign. We're 21, we're 24, we're 30. So we're moving into that warm-up pattern. There's lots of sunshine. The next system on Tuesday, let's move through here, arrives very late in the day. So bit of a wind change first of all here, but the wet weather isn't immediate. That is a later one that comes through during the day on Wednesday. Heading over into the west for Perth, not a lot going on. Most of the activity is over in the east. In terms of temperatures, nothing extreme. So 22, 23, 23. There's our dip into Monday with a bit of wet weather. Let's have a look at that one. So Sunday, it is later. It is in the afternoon and evening as the winds turn around and blow from the southwest, leaving us cooler as we move into Monday and Tuesday. But there is a little bit of heat on the horizon. By Thursday, temperatures jump up once again. All right, that's it from me here. Do take care out there today. Significant rain coming through, but also the threat of these severe thunderstorms that you will feel if you are directly underneath one of those. As always, head to janesweather.com and I'll have my next big video update for you next Friday.